welcome back. I am starting my video over again. So thank you for joining me. This is Renee. I am so excited that you guys would join me. I'm doing a review for Ready to Love Part 1. And then, of course, I'll do Part 2 and so on. I've been gone for a couple of days because I've been traveling for work, but your girl is here, and I'm glad that you are too. All right, so let's get right into Ready to Love Reunion Part 1. Straight off the top, I got to talk about the fashion. Let me just say, none of the women qualify as best dressed. Not one. They all looked crazy. Amber, I have no idea, honey, what you were wearing. What was that thing that you had wrapped around your arm and wrapped around your neck? I didn't know what to make of it. Whoever designed it, take them out in the back and cut their head off, okay? Because that dress was absolutely hideous. The worst dress of Ready to Love, or probably any reunion that I have ever seen, okay? Alexis dress, absolutely not. You look like you were being swallowed by the dress. You had this big puff over here, super long. I didn't like it for your body type. I didn't like Andrea's outfit for her body type, even though she was only on screen for a little while. Liz, girl. Liz, how old are you? Sometimes, at least the way you come off on camera, you come off like you're 60 years old. From my understanding, you're only 40, so why not act, dress, feel, exude the energy of a 40-year-old, not a 70-year-old? Like, come on, Liz. The hair that was up in the hump and that awful 1980s prom dress you had on. It was the color. Oh my God, the color. Are you kidding me? Who told you to put that dress on? Who is the designer? Everybody. Kyra, I thought you would come better than that. When you came to the pool and you had that sexy bathing suit on and Liz had that Walmart bathing suit on, you looked gorgeous. It was fabulous. But why did you have that dress on with the sleeves and the slits? It was just, no, Kyra, no. You too bad for that dress. Don't ever do that again. Renisha, I'm going to give you somewhat of a pass. It wasn't my favorite, but it was not horrible in any way. Chrysanthemum, I really don't have any feelings one way or the other about Chrysanthemum. She's just kind of there for me. Stacy, she was okay too, but honestly, the best dress is gonna have to go to the men. The women don't even qualify to be considered for best dress. So AJ looks really nice. I like how he had his bow tie just kind of laying up against his suit jacket or his shirt. It looks really good. David looks really good. Dietrich looked good. Khalil and Christian, go on, sit down somewhere. Neither one of you all were super impressive, but those three, David, Dietrich, and AJ, they looked very nice. Joelle just doesn't have a good sense of style. Sorry, Joelle, I want to love you, but nah, baby, I just can't do it. So, best dress for me, the women naughty are not even considered, but definitely the men, they brought it through and they brought it home for us. All right, moving right along. Yeah, moving right along. They get into Kyra, my girl. Kyra, I like Kyra. I know some of y'all give Kyra a hard time, but I think Kyra is very smart, and I love the way that she carries herself. So they start talking about how Kyra gets chosen by multiple men in the men's lounge. She was chosen by David. She was chosen by Joelle, which she says is just, she doesn't even know how that happened. And of course, Jason chose her and AJ chose her. She said she felt like she had a target on her back, which is cool. I mean, it is what it is. I don't think that it was a bad thing that multiple men chose her. Honestly, I think it took her stock up. If I'm gonna keep it real with everybody else that was watching the show. Now, on the show, I'm sure it made things a little bit difficult, and probably with the ladies as well. I'm not sure what Alexis's problem was with Kyra being chosen. She said she felt like she was being played. 1 minute she was being told one thing, another. Girl, that ain't none of Kyra's business. That's your business. You need to be told the truth or whatever by the men that you were interested in, whoever your connections were. Why is that Kyra's problem? Why should she care that you have an issue with her being chosen by the other men? You said she was playing Monopoly, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You said she was playing chess. She's smart. She plays or she works or thinks strategically. She's supposed to. You gave her compliments. Those were not insults. You made it seem like, well, she can do something that you can't do. And to me, you played yourself, Alexis. I'm sorry. It just wasn't good. Tressa pops in. She looks gorgeous. I love Tressa. I love her energy. She seems very vibrant and fun. She seems very honest. Obviously, we don't get to know them much more deeply because we get to see very chopped up versions of how they present themselves or how they are presented on TV, due to the editing and everything. But for me, from what I've seen, I really like Tressa. She seems like a woman with confidence. I like that she's funny. And she seems to be able to stand up for herself and be okay with not being everybody's cup of tea. You could be a beautiful woman and somebody is not going to find you attractive. That's just the way of the world. Like, you're not going to be attractive to everybody. So I like Tressa. Khalil and Christian, they get into their little segment because they were the first two that were eliminated. Blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Christian asked Andrea on a date. High five, Christian. I ain't mad at you. Just do your thing. Be confident though. Like, be genuinely confident in who you are. Fake it even if you have to. Khalil, I'm not sure what that whole deal was with you and Ida. Honestly, I can't say that I really care, but I like my girl Ida. She said, wait a minute, hold on. That's something that we have to talk about. We have to agree on. You don't get to take the reins on announcing something as big as that, especially when you told me no. Oh, so you want to be the one to drop the news. I don't think so. I'm not with that, and I'm glad that she spoke up for it. Then they move into Stacy and Chrysanthemum. I hope I'm saying her name right. I don't really know. I don't know what it is about these two, but I'm gonna be honest. Stacy bores me. She just doesn't seem like an exciting woman. On one end, she seems, kind of okay, but her and Chrysanthemum, they're kind of an off match for me. You have this one woman who comes off now. I'm not saying she's this way, but she comes off very materialistic, doesn't seem like a deep thinker. And she just seems very surface level. I don't know it to be true. I'm just telling you the perception that I got of her based on the small amount of video that I was able to see of her on the show. Chrysanthemum just doesn't seem like the kind of woman that I would want to hang around. Stacy, on the other hand, she seems cool. Sometimes I get the feeling that hanging with Chris makes her feel a little bit cooler. I could be wrong, but I don't see this relationship being something that flourishes. And far beyond me to get all deep into that. They get into talking about how it's unfair that the men can deliberate and do certain things and create friendships amongst each other, but it's unfair for women to do it. But I'm gonna just keep it real, ladies. Let's not act like that we are not going to tell our girlfriend, hey girl, this is AJ calling me, let me call you back, let you know what I mean? Like, that's just a thing. And then when you hang up with AJ and then he calls the other one, you just like, oh, well, he calling me now. It's going to happen. And nobody wants to be involved with that. Make sure that when you go on the show, you stay focused on why you are there. But outside of that, if they have a genuine friendship, kudos to y'all. All right, they move right on into, I hope I'm not going too fast for y'all, but I got a lot of reviews to do, so I gotta give you what I got. So they move right on into Ron and Alexis. Dun 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 dun. Because Ron, what are you doing, brother? You don't want to make yourself look bad on television. I don't get the best feeling from Alexis. I think she's a cool person. However, she seems a little manipulative in ways. She's very insecure. In some ways, she needed a lot of affirmations going throughout this process. And I just didn't think it took all of that. But at the end of the day, I do believe that the conversation that Alexis and Ron had was about AJ and him thinking like, why you gonna let this dude play you? Why would you allow yourself or position yourself to be used by somebody that you know is not really into you? If this man says, okay, I want to spend time with you, AJ that is, tells Alexis, I want to spend time with you, just wait for me, and you go and wait for him for 2 hours. What were you doing upstairs for 2 hours? The whole world wants to know. Did you fall asleep? Was that the issue, that you really weren't waiting for him? You actually just laid upstairs, and you actually ended up falling asleep? Because I can't imagine me sitting there in a room on my phone for 2 hours waiting on some dude to come and talk to me. Like, can you stay thirsty? Because that's really thirsty if that's what you ended up doing. And if as a woman at your age, you ended up waiting for AJ for 2 hours knowingly, right? Like you were awake and aware, sis, we need to talk. We genuinely need to talk, because there should be something that you feel greater inside of you that would not allow you to sit there and wait. Now, Ron and his presentation and his approach to you, based on what we saw, was not appropriate. Now, him saying, oh, and by the way, I kissed Amber. Or, however, sometimes you can be honest with the person, but you do it in the wrong way. Sometimes I say, you still have to be compassionate in your truth. All these people that says, well, I'm just keeping it real. Okay, there's a right way to keep it real. Because no matter what, we have to watch how we speak to each other. All those keep it real people, let me keep it real with you the wrong way, and let's see how you like it. So let's just stop playing like we don't understand speaking to somebody respectfully and allowing them to hear your message. Because once you cross that boundary, nobody hears you. If you talk to them crazy, nobody wants to hear you, and the message is no longer able to land. So it's really important to consider that. I don't know, Alexis and Ron, as far as their connection. And when she says, I see this whole priestly king vibe in you. Like, girl, what priestly king vibe did you see in Ron? I ain't saying, we can't call each other kings and queens. That's all cool. But it felt like a lie. It just felt like a lie. I don't think you saw that at all. I think you needed way too much from him, of him confirming where you stood. Now, when it came to AJ, you could tell that you had an emotional connection with AJ. You were invested in a very different way because you didn't press him as hard, based on what we saw. Now, this is all based on what we saw. I can't talk about what I didn't see. So, I'm not sure about you two, but Ron's apology was really not an apology at all. Ron was pretty much like, I'm gonna take part for me. I can, address my part, but at the end of the day, she knew this and she knew that. Once the apology turns from, this is what I did, I acknowledge it, I want to apologize for it, and in the future going forward, this is how I plan to conduct myself when I'm involved in an interaction with you. That was not Ron. Ron was like, look, she knew how this conversation went, and she knows that it did not end in a bad way. And so if she want to sit up here in front for y'all for the cameras, then I'm gonna give you this old lowball apology, and you take what you get. That's pretty much how he approached the situation. It wasn't right, but some men, they just condescending. Some men are just rude. Some men are just, they have, I think men who are condescending to women are insecure. I do. I'm not sure where it comes from, because I think it's different for everyone. But anytime you feel the need and you carry out that to talk to a woman in a way that's disrespectful or condescending to her, there's something wrong with you. There's really something wrong with you, because that type of energy is not designated for a woman. That type of energy is for that man-to-man interaction. And when you allow that to flow over to interacting with women, there's something wrong. There's something going on. And sometimes it's hurt and past trauma or whatever the situation may be, but you need to check that. Um, Ron and Amber, they talk about their kiss. We went on many dates. We went on 2 dates. We went on 1 date. We didn't go on any dates at all. I mean, so how many dates did you go on? Now, I'm not going to deny. I did hear or see a video of Ron breaking down the dates. So he said 1 date was a group date. That ain't a date, my brother. Not, I mean, it's a date, but it's not like, it don't really count in some ways, because you think of a date that's just one-on-one intimacy, getting to know each other, growing in our awareness of one another. And then there was another one where she came over with her friends or something like that. She brought a group of friends, and he said it was, maybe 7 of them. That's not a date. And then they actually did go on 1 date, out to a restaurant or something like that. 1 day, bro. I got you for 1 date. No matter what I do, I understand. I can see both sides. But I think your positioning on KG is what makes you approach this situation a little bit different. Sometimes you come off as wanting to one-up KG. You come off, Ron, as being in disagreement with KG's energy. And I don't really know why behind the scenes. I'm sure, people would better understand. But I don't see how anybody could not get along with KG. Like, KG seems really cool. Now, a person is a person, right? And we don't all have to get along, but we should definitely respect each other. And Ron, I think you came off disrespectful to KG, even by calling him a niche market guy. Like, excuse me? Which KG's a niche market guy and he needs a niche market girl. You are a niche market guy, as a matter of fact, because you talk crazy. You have some insecurities. And so you are in the same position that you're saying that KG is in. So please miss us with all of that. I like the way that KG and Amber work through this discord that's going on. And I like how she stands up and she's like, no, hold on, you lying. And you need to cut it out. Although Amber, if Alexis, this is what makes it hard when you become friends, or so to speak, because if you and Alexis have formed a bond and you go and kiss Ron, that ain't right, girl. I mean, that's just not right. Like, I got girlfriends that I might meet on the job, and I'm not finna go kiss somebody that they're interested in. I don't have to know you for weeks or months on end in order for me to respect the space that you have expressed that you want to take part in. I'm good on that. So the fact that you kiss Ron, I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't like that. So anyway, moving right along. After the conversation, Ron and Alexis said that she didn't like the way that he spoke to her. Now, let me just do this Alexis and Ron thing real quick. So when Ron asked Alexis, was he talking about AJ? She was like, can I finish? Can I speak? And I was sitting there like, well, answer the question, Alexis. What was he talking about? Because sometimes when people don't want to tell the truth, they just want to skip over it. They want to act like you're interrupting me. Let me finish my thought. No, answer the question. Are you lying? Do you know what I'm talking about? Just like, Alexis knew, according to, a previous interview that I've seen, Alexis knew that Amber kissed Ron. But during the little sit down, she was like, oh my God, you're a Judas. You're the, like, girl, first of all, it ain't that deep. Ain't no Judas in the room, okay? Y'all been doing this little experiment by now, maybe some 4 to 5 weeks. Ain't no Judas in the room, child. Like, let's not make it something. I'm sorry, I got something in my eye. Let's not make it something that it's not. So don't push it with the whole Judas situation. And stuff like that makes you want to say, just cut it out. All right, so then the guys have a moment. It's beautiful. They get emotional. They're talking about their feelings and being able to express themselves. And honestly, I think this is very important. We have to allow our men opportunities to tap into an emotional space. This doesn't mean that your man has to break down and cry once a month. This doesn't mean that, he wants to lay in bed eating chocolate ice cream, watching, soap operas. No, this just means that if he has something on his heart, you create a space for him to express himself safely, where you're not going to jump down his throat and chop his head off because he's telling you what's going on with him. He's stressed out about this, or, he's not sure how he's going to figure this out, or he really didn't like the way that you spoke to him the other day, or, maybe your family has been spending too much time over at the house, or it would really help him if you did. Let him express himself. Let him. Because here's the thing, what really ends up happening is that we raise little girls to be open and emotional and to talk and express themselves, but we raise young men to be closed and hard and stoic, and then we tell these two energies and personalities to come together and give each other what the other person lacks. It's not likely to happen, not without very intentional counseling and work on oneself. Little girl, you tell her, it's okay, baby, you could cry. Little boy, don't cry. Wife, babe, open up to me and let me know what you're feeling, what's in your heart. Husband, ain't no way in the world. Because that is a sign. Me opening up, me being vulnerable is a sign of weakness. I've learned this all my life. We're in a mess because this is happening from a very young age. And, this is what we're learning on both sides. And so, when you get a man and you give him an opportunity to express himself in a safe way, let him do it. Just let him do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, don't come over here crying every 5 seconds. Don't come over here with no period. But you do have an opportunity to just be honest. I heard recently that men suffer in silence. We don't want that. We don't want any man suffering in silence, and we certainly don't want our black men suffering in silence. So please, ladies, allow them to open up, and men, open up to us. Like, you can't say you're suffering but you don't tell anybody what's going on. What do you want us to do with that? How can we help you if you never open your mouth? Let's be for real, okay? All right, moving on. Now that we done talked about that, Alexis, AJ, and Kyra. Let me just say, Alexis, girl, I'm so sick of you. You still in the mix. You in the mix with Amber. You in the mix with Ron. You talking about Chrysanthemum behind her back. Why? So here we go again with AJ and Kyra, and you go behind Kyra's back because I believe you knew. I ain't lying. I believe you knew. You go behind Kyra's back and you call AJ and ask him, or you don't even call him, you DM him. So you didn't have his phone number. Did he respect you enough to give you his phone number? Maybe. I don't know. People talk just on social media all the time, so it's not to say, that she didn't have the ability to call him. But anyway, you call him thirst trapping. Oh, did you mean anything that you said? Girl, we know what we're doing. Well, I just want to know how you felt about me. You know how he felt about you. He didn't choose you. Period. That's how he felt about you. Was it a hard decision? I'm sure it was, because this is a very short amount of time and he's trying to figure out which woman is best for him for his future going forward. And honestly, if I had to choose why he chose Kyra, I would have to say it was because of your insecurities, because you were an easy fish, and possibly because you already have a ready-made family. And that one, because I think he began to open up to the idea of women who have children. But if he's a very traditional man and, just wanting what he wants, sometimes it's just easier to go over here with the woman who doesn't have any kids and no baggage, right? Kyra's never been married before, so she doesn't have to worry about an ex-husband. And, like I said, Alexis, you were just an easy fish. He knew he could get you. You did not present any challenge to him at all. So I think that had something to do with it. And I think that's partly why he ended up changing his mind at the time when he sent you home instead of Kyra. Why did AJ send Alexis home? It was a direct question, but he did not answer directly. Instead, he asked a question. But for what? Like, just give me the answer to the question that I asked you. But sometimes I feel like this is what men do in order. It's called deflection. Let's just call it what it is. And they don't want to be the bad guy sometimes. And I think AJ is the kind of guy, he just wants to lay low, be chill, be cool. And he doesn't really want to be in the spotlight. And so he's probably used to hanging with a guy who's a lot more loud and boisterous than he is. And he can kind of fall back and catch the women who find that, that mysteriousness attractive, which often happens a lot. But AJ said he ended up saying that he had a better connection with Kyra. And I just told you the reason why I felt like that was. They could be free with each other because they did not have the baggage that Alexis has. And I'm not saying baggage that Alexis's baggage is bad. It's her son and it's just a previous marriage. And so those are great things. But it may be something that made the difference. If you're weighing the scale, well, Kyra, all right, I'll take it. You know what I mean? I see. Why not? Because then you don't have to worry about when can you see your girl, and you can just see anytime you want to. You want to go out and go on a trip? Sure, let's go on a trip. You don't have to worry about, well, I need to take my son, or I need to find a babysitter. Those things can make dating pretty difficult. AJ says, you know who your girl is by how you light up when she walks in the room. Oh, really? Oh, really, AJ? Okay, so I guess you lit up when Kyra walked in the room. Okay. Anyway, Kyra, she's poised. She's focused. I like how she articulates her thoughts. I like that she understands that somebody should be taking care of her heart. And so when it came to Jason, she approached Jason with logic, and Jason approached her with emotion, and they missed each other. Usually it's the other way around. Kyra's logic was, let me think about this. I've got two men who are great. I don't know you. We don't have enough time. We're on television, and I want to get to know you more because I want to be certain about my decision. Jason was, this could be great. I feel wonderful about it. I think we could have a future together. Let's just try it. That's usually how women think. But Kyra wasn't there. And so when you meet emotion and logic, it usually doesn't work. You need to be in the same place at the same time when you're trying to make a love connection, or it just falls flat. And that's what ended up happening with Jason and Kyra. And I do think she was a lot more guarded than she realized, but I'm not mad at it at all. AJ ends up saying that he wants to still date Kyra. But here is the thing, though. When Tommy asked AJ, was he still interested in dating one of them, he doesn't answer. Excuse me. Well, he does, but he does it differently. Tommy says, well, are you interested in dating one of these women? He said, well, it's not Alexis. I didn't ask you that. That's a very hurtful thing to say. Why did he slay her? Why? Why did he intentionally cause that hurt? Because that's what he did. He created that wound on purpose. Because, I don't know, maybe he and Alexis are not on the same path, on the same wavelength. Maybe they're at odds or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe he resents her a little bit for the discord that he has and the breakdown that he has with Kyra. But he said it's not Alexis. Okay. All right. So what are we supposed to do with that? I'm asking you who you want, not who you don't want. When you say who you don't want, you're doing it on purpose to create a scar. I don't care what nobody say that was intentional, and I don't think it was necessary. And you could see that it really hurt Alexis's feelings, because I felt like she almost cried. Immediately she rebuts and says, well, I know it's not me. AJ and we already talked about that. We don't have a connection. She wanted to cover herself. She wanted to make sure it didn't come off as if she was being played, or, you know, if he took a shot at her. She wanted to be like, wait a minute, hold up. I know you saying it ain't me, but I didn't choose you either. But really, you did. And it's unfortunate that he did not take care of you in that moment. And the way that you apologized to Chrysanthemum, which I don't think she received, let me just be honest, and I don't even think you meant it. It was fake and phony. But that's how somebody should have apologized to you in that moment. It should have, ooh, Alexis, I'm sorry he said that. Because that was intentional hurt for you. He threw that dagger at you on purpose, Alexis. But I believe it was because he was angry. So AJ ends up saying he took it hard and he felt like Kyra had poked at his pride. I get it. We on national TV. Let's keep it 100. Millions of people are watching. I go through all of this. I open up to you, even if it might be slight. And I say I choose you on television. And you don't choose me back? Girl. Okay. If it were me, I would just be like, wait for it. Just wait for it. Wait to see what happens. Wait to see if we still cool. I'm not saying that I wouldn't date you afterwards. Maybe, possibly. But knowing me, probably not. But even if I did, I wouldn't give you but so much energy because you just finished playing me. Why am I going to sit here and throw my heart on the line for you when you embarrass me on national TV? No, girl, I'm not doing that with you. No, Kyra, no. And she said she went on vacation for 2 weeks. Well, let's see. Because they stopped the show and they're coming back for part 2 of the reunion. So, I'm coming back for part 2 of the review. Part 2 of the review. I'm Renee, and I am having a blast sharing my thoughts with you guys about the shows that I'm watching. And I want to expand and do more. And so I love you guys' comments and let me know how you feel, what you think, and so on and so on and so on and so on. So on and so on and so. All right, y'all. Peace. That's Ready to Love Reunion Part 1, Season 5. Or 4. Or 5. Yeah. Bye.